All right, welcome back to the Run.down Postgame show here on the Strickland YouTube channel, Strickland Twitter, and if you're listening to this the day after, Strickland Podcast Network. I am Sam. I'm joined by Tyrese. The Knicks win against the San Antonio Spurs, snapping their 11-game win streak. They went 11-0 in February, and the Knicks absolutely dominated them after a slow start in the first quarter. The show, of course, is brought to you by FanDuel. I put in a live bet during this game. I wish I put in a live bet for Knicks money line, but my brain wasn't functioning properly as I was just waking up for the day. But next time I'll know. But yeah, the Knicks win 114-89, dominating the Spurs after a very slow start. Early in this game, I mean, even if you look at Josh Hart's stat line, it doesn't really tell the full story of this game because he came out the gate and he kind of missed a couple shots, and I feel like he got in his head early, and that kind of impacted the way the Knicks offense was flowing in terms of like Spurs' game plan was just to leave him open, and it was clunking up things for the Knicks offensively. But the Knicks were able to overcome this as Jalen Brunson finished the first quarter scoring like the Knicks last 11 points or something.
Yeah.
And the Knicks went into the second quarter on a 15-2 run, which they extended in the second quarter to a 22-2 run. And from there on, the Knicks just kind of never looked back. And yeah, they just dominated this game. Key win for the Knicks as they're playing one of the top 5 teams in the league, and we know how the Knicks record has been against the top 5 teams in the league. Another storyline for the season. But the Knicks are able to handle adversity, a criticism that we've heard far too many times during the season, and put back against one of the best teams in the league in one of the scarier conferences in the Western Conference. So, yeah, Tyrese, your thoughts on this game and the Knicks win today?
That's what happens when a bunch of soft boys come to a garden with some real niggas, and we put that belt to the ass. Like, as soon as Josh Hart went to the bench, the game was pretty much over. Like, Brunson went on the heater. They could not score because they can't shoot, which has been a weakness of this team the entire season. And then they had no wings for OG Anunoby. I think the problem with the Spurs is they had 3 very good guards who are all wing size, but they're not true wings. And ultimately, I think it hampers their ability to defend against bigger wings because OG Anunoby is a bigger wing. You need to help out against Cat on the boards. They can't do that. Even though offensively, they were getting a lot of offensive boards, it was off of like free throw misses and when Cat wasn't in the paint. So they tried, but ultimately they just did not have the size to deal with the Knicks. And basically everybody feasted off of them. Mikal Bridges has his best game of the season, I want to say. Or if not his best game of the season, one of his best games of the season. Excuse me. Diawara absolutely punished them for leaving him open. They tried to do the Josh Hart thing of Diawara, and Diawara just took the jump shots, which is good for his development, but also the fact that he's taking those jump shots and making those jump shots at a decent clip. Very positive to see. There's just a lot of good to take out of this team. I think people overreacted too much to the Cavs loss, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but ultimately the Knicks are a good team. Continue to beat good teams, which we weren't doing last season. And again, this idea that the Western Conference is this Goliath while the Eastern Conference is just full of mid and mediocre teams, it's just not been true this season. Aside from realistically the Thunder, the best teams in the league have been the Eastern Conference. I mean, the Spurs are up there as well, but ultimately I do question how the Spurs are going to look at the playoff setting. I don't really question how the Celtics or the Knicks or even the Cavs are looking at the playoff setting. I'm a lot higher in the Eastern Conference, and it feels like when the Eastern Conference matches up against the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference is getting the better of them. But what do I know?
Yeah, no, I mean, this whole narrative that the Western Conference is like this big bad conference, I feel like should have been debunked for years now. The Eastern Conference teams, while they may not have the biggest names, I think that's where the Western Conference kind of gets the bump there, is because they have so many of the names over there that a lot of fans just associate that with the being the stronger conference when that necessarily isn't the case. But yeah, I mean, talking about this Knicks win today, I mean, I think you got to start with Mikal Bridges, who against the Spurs, he really kind of has some of his better games. And even going back to last year, Christmas Day game, he had the 40 piece. Today, 25 points, 5 steals, just absolutely great, especially off ball defensively, just really locked in. The Spurs, of course, were making some lazy passes, but Mikal was making them pay for it. He was going up strong too, which I really commend. He had like a couple fast break takes where he went in for like a contested layup. He went for a dunk. He went for the pass to Landry for a dunk as well. So just great to see Mikal play like this. It's like, can you play like this more often? That's the thing.
Like, I don't even need the ball to go in the net. I just
need the mentality.
Exactly. Like, I just need you to like hoop and hoop effectively. That's all I ask for. I don't ask for much, man. Like, the ball's not going to go in the net every single game. That's just how basketball works. But like, play with the level of intensity that you do against the Spurs, against the Hornets, or like what we needed against the Thunder this week. Just play with that level of intensity. Play with that level of focus and discipline. Because when the Knicks do that, they usually win. And it's like, you can clearly do it because I've seen you do it. But then, like, when you come out and then you have like 4 turnovers in like the first 3 minutes of the game and everybody's already in their head, and then you're down like 15 before the half, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, you're better than this. So I'm just happy that he did it today. I mean, I don't know what it is when he sees Victor Wembanyama. I guess Mikal Bridges is incredibly patriotic. Who knows? But
yeah. No, I don't know, but I don't know what it is, but he enjoys that matchup. Really efficient today. Hit 5 threes. Like, I mean, this was like the ideal Mikal game. And on the other side of the ball, on the other side of the wing situation there, OG just 5 for 11 today after a really big game in Milwaukee, and we'll talk about that game as well a little bit later on. But he had 12 points, but I think the key thing for him was defensively, just bothering Victor Wembanyama, making things uncomfortable for him. We saw against the Pistons how physical they played against Wemby and how that disrupted his game. And while, Wemby still got his 25 and 13, OG kind of made it uncomfortable for him in certain stretches. And that's all you really want to see. And this is where OG's value really comes into play. I saw multiple tweets actually today about like talking about like OG's role, and like I saw one tweet, they were like, OG makes $42 million a year, but no one really ever says anything about it because like he just kind of does his thing, and like these type of matchups, they kind of encapsulate that. Like, he's able to go against a Victor Wembanyama. When we play against the Bucks and they have Giannis, he's able to guard against Giannis. When we need him to go against a perimeter scorer that's giving us some issues, like he's able to do that. So like that's where his value comes in, and then he's able to give you performances like he did against Milwaukee. So today was one of those games where he didn't fill up the score sheet offensively so much, but you saw his value defensively.
Plus, like, I think if Wemby didn't get the free throws and he was gifted a lot of free throws, like, it would have looked even better. OG is just the quintessential 3-and-D wing when it's just he can give you so much defensively. He's so versatile defensively. He can guard 1 through 5. A lot of people say they can guard 1 through 5. He can actually guard 1 through 5, and you could probably put him on 5s, but you put him on 1s. And that's his benefit, especially when you have Karl-Anthony Towns back there. I thought him and Cat kind of icing the corner against Wemby was pretty effective this game. But yeah, his defense was just incredible. The ability for him to affect the game without having to put the ball in the net was crucial for this team. And his games are the thing where it's just like, okay, you want Mikal Bridges to like give you the defense if OG gives you the offense, and OG to give you the defense, and Mikal gives you the offense. Like, you want that where it's like both of them at least can contribute something, even when the other person is failing in one aspect of the game. And that's the benefit of having Wingstop. When both of them do stupid shit, that's when that gets annoying. But it's like, OG had a great game. I think his defense enabled the Knicks to play more aggressively against other players, and you kind of live with those results as they come. But that's what I want to see from the Knicks. That's what I want to see in terms of using OG's defensive versatility in order to have guys be more active in other ways on the defensive end, and I think they were able to get that today.
Yeah, I think as a whole, the Knicks really played like a really physical brand of basketball defensively that I don't think I've seen them play for like a whole game stretch consistently all year. And that's been kind of the reason why like fans have been getting on the team. But as you can see, when they are truly locked in and you're hoping during the playoffs they are like this way more consistently, they are very hard to beat. Even early on, they weren't really hitting their threes that much. But they were still kind of like in the game. Like you didn't think that the game was going to get too far away from them just because they were still locked in defensively. And that's what you want to see from this team because like as we saw throughout the game, their defense stayed consistent, and then their offense was able to catch up to it, and then that's where they were able to they were able to open up the game so much to the Spurs. And like the Spurs made their runs, they cut the lead to like 8 a couple times in the third quarter and even early in the fourth or whatever it was. But the Knicks kind of stayed strong, and their defense stayed strong, and they were able to make the necessary stops and hit the necessary shots to really win the game and just close it out. You mentioned Mo Diawara. They played the same kind of defense on him that they played on Josh Hart, just basically leaving him open, ghost defense, having Wemby as a roamer. And that was giving the Knicks problems at certain stretches in this game. But the difference between how Mo Diawara approached it and how Josh Hart approached it is the reason why people have so many criticisms of when Josh Hart plays and he has a longer leash than he needs to. We saw early in the first quarter. He was driving into congested lanes when he was given open threes, and that wasn't really doing any favors for the Knicks. Meanwhile, Mo Diawara, he took 13 threes, hit 4 of them, but it's like that's what you want to see. Like and most of them in the first half he was stuttering on a couple of them and he wasn't really too sure of himself, but the second half I thought he did a way better job of just letting it fly and hitting those threes when he did. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, like, the problem with Josh Hart is when that shot doesn't go down, he's a very rough player to try to fit into an offense. The passing is great, the rebounding is always going to be solid, but the offense just gets so rough when he's not able to hit those outside shots. And I know the discourse is always going to be about the starting lineup and Josh Hart coming out the starting lineup. Again, the starting lineup has been better than it has been last year. I also think, ultimately, the Knicks don't play the starting lineup as much as they used to. There's been a lot more diversification. There's been a lot more 5 outlooks. And that's all you can really ask for. But tonight was just not the night for it. I think even in the third quarter, it was a little better. But like the first quarter, with the way they started, was rough. I think Diawara gave them the shooting that they needed. I don't even think Shamet really did much for them. The game just kind of blew open when the Knicks went on that run. Hart got benched, but like they went to less of a 5 outlook, more for like Mitchell Robinson, Landry Shamet, and I think it was Diawara in, and that's what kind of blew the game open. So I'm not gonna say it was a matter of like, oh, the Knicks ran 5 out and they won the game. I think it was just the Knicks had a little bit more offensive process and offensive flow, and they were able to win the game off the back of that. But yeah, I mean, Diawara just being able to come in and get the threes up that someone like Hart would not take, or someone like even McHale on most nights wouldn't take, is useful for this offense. And when he can hit a couple of them, it changes everything. And we've seen him be able to flash as a passer. We've seen him do stuff off the dribble. We've seen him do stuff where he's just able to take it and rip and go. There's just a lot of variety in his game that he's still trying to flesh out, but ultimately having a guy who's more confident in that offensive role compared to Hart does help this team win games and get on big runs and be able to like have those moments where they look like a championship contender. Not saying that Hart doesn't do that, but I think Hart does it in a different way, and it usually revolves around him just creating havoc. But when he can't create that havoc, it's just nice to have a guy come in and give you that little bit more willingness offensively.
Yeah, no, I think just like the fact that I feel like Hart got too much in his head, and like that's why he kept just driving into the lanes so much. And while driving in the lanes does offer a benefit, it just wasn't offering the benefit that we needed to see in that moment. While Mo was able to stretch out the floor, and that was really opening things up for the Knicks. And I feel like this is just great for Mo's development. I mean, last game against the Bucks, we saw him flash a bunch of different stuff. It wasn't necessarily the 3-point shooting. It was like he was driving in and getting to the basket. He was, being able to get to the free throw line. We saw a little bit of the passing flashing. So, like, it's different things that we're seeing from him at different points in the season. And, Shout out to Mike Brown for realizing that he was point shaving with Jeremy Sohan minutes and finally cut those off completely. Because I don't know what I would have done if I just saw more Jeremy Sohan minutes. Like,
that nigga's a terrorist. Like, I don't even want him to make it to the end of the season. Cut him now. Like, cut him. Like, he don't deserve bread from this franchise, bro. He don't deserve bread from any franchise. Why in the world did I have to watch Jeremy Sohan play basketball for my team? I already had to see him play basketball for my team. I saw it live. I didn't want to see that again. The Knicks were supposed to be my escape from Jeremy Sohan. I didn't want to watch him suit up for my team. And then you got people talking about, oh, we got to figure out what Jeremy Sohan has. I know what he has. Ass. Like what were we doing, bro? And I get it. Experimentation, you want to figure stuff out. Jeremy Sohan doesn't have a role in Guangdong. Jeremy Sohan doesn't have a role with Panathinaikos. Jeremy Sohan doesn't have a role with Real Madrid. Jeremy Sohan has a role with Kith. Jeremy Sohan has a role with Calvin Klein. Like, that's where Jeremy Sohan needs to be looking. Modeling, not basketball. That's not his forte. That's not his game. That's not what he needs to be doing. Jeremy Sohan did not deserve minutes in any capacity, and the fans who wanted to convince themselves that Jeremy Sohan was a diamond in the rough because he's only 22 years old need to be ashamed of themselves. Okay? I never want to watch Jeremy Sohan play basketball for this team again. I don't even want him in garbage time. Put Pacome in there. At least Pacome hasn't broken my heart.
Where's Pacome been? I haven't seen him in a while.
They got Pacome in the hydrobolic chamber, taking the Myers cocktail of HGH, and that's all I need him to do. Eat the 25 game fine. We're not gonna need you anyway, bro. We'll see you in year 3.
But yeah, shout out to Mike Brown for finally realizing. And Mike Malone said they were talking about this on the broadcast too. They were talking about how Mike Brown said he was trying to figure out what to do between Jeremy Sohan and Mo Diawara. And I think after a couple of threes that Mo hit in the fourth quarter, Mike Malone was just like, he said something along the lines of Jeremy Sohan, Mike Brown doesn't need to worry about playing Jeremy Sohan minutes, something along those lines.
Yeah, and he's right. You don't. It's not something that you need to focus yourself on anymore. You're fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Mo Diawara. I mean, his fan base is really getting behind the kid. I think we're all finally happy to finally see the Knicks actually take the steps in developing a player that's showing some promise. I mean, they've been doing that over the last couple of years. And under Tom Thibodeau, it looked very different. I think if Tom Thibodeau was here, Mo Diawara would not be playing at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's something that this fan base. I know this fan base really likes to rag on Mike Brown, and sometimes he has some moments where he looks like he doesn't really know fully what he's doing, i.e. Jeremy Sohan stuff there, and the way he was utilizing him, at least in the way that he was trying to experiment with him. But I think the fan base does have to give him some credit for at least playing Mo Diawara and then sticking with him, even through the ups and downs and the roller coasters of, him not playing certain games, him not playing this amount of minutes, whatever it may be. But the fact that Mo's kind of been sort of consistently through in the rotation, I think the fan base does have to give Mike Brown some credit for that. I mean, we saw him close with Mo Diawara against the Celtics a couple weeks ago. I think this fan base should really. I know this fan base is on the edge of their seats with being contenders and everything, but they also just I think they gotta chill in certain aspects too.
I just don't like the idea that people think Mike Brown and Tom Thibodeau are remotely similar as coaches, because the Knicks got Jeremy Sohan and actually played him, and then pulled the plug pretty quickly when they realized, okay, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Tom Thibodeau wouldn't have played him, period, but he also wouldn't have played Mo Diawara. And he would have just played Josh Hart 36 minutes instead of playing him 30, 31. And it's just, I don't know how you could watch Tom Thibodeau coach last year, especially compared to this year, where you're watching Mike Brown and think that these are the same coaches. It's a lot more experimentation, a lot more guys in the rotation, a lot more trial and error. And while
the closing lineup isn't the same every night.
Correct. The starting lineup might be the same, but he's willing to bench Mikal Bridges. He's willing to bench Josh Hart. He's willing to bench Karl-Anthony Towns. The only two guys he has been willing to bench are Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby, who are probably...
And they're probably the two most important players on the team.
Correct. So I don't understand why people are saying, oh, well, they shouldn't have fired Tips. Look at this team compared to last year and tell me that this team isn't more prepared. They have more guys with more confidence going into the playoffs. Landry Shamet is shooting 40% from three, averaging over 10 points a game. He was not doing that last season because he was only playing about 10 minutes a game when he was in the rotation. I just don't understand this idea of like, unless it looks exactly perfect and the Knicks are like immediately putting themselves into like 10-game winning streak potential, which I mean, they were close to doing it already. I think people need to understand that the Knicks want to have more of a process compared to last season, and I think they've been getting it. So I can't complain. I think it's been good, and I want to see them continue to experiment, not with Jeremy Sohan, but with like different lineups and different combinations on the floor. And then when Deuce gets back, I want to see them run like Jose and Deuce together, probably with Brunson. I want to see those 3 guard lineups. I want to see like 3 wing lineups with Diawara and Bridges and OG. I want to see exactly like what the Knicks can do with their personnel, and they're getting it in a way you wouldn't have gotten it last year with Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's see. Anything else that we need to address from this game? I feel like we covered most of it. Jose Alvarado once again gave you some solid minutes. 3, 3, and 5 give you a steal. Mitch Robinson, only 15 minutes, 4 points, 5 rebounds.
Put that nigga Wemby in jail.
Played some really good defense on Wemby as well. I feel like the Knicks have like probably the best Wemby defenders between OG and Mitch. Like they do a pretty good job, and I feel like Cat even did a pretty good job on some possessions as well. And I think the Knicks just did a good job of like not making sure the others beat them as well. Like Fox only had 7 points on 3 of 10 shooting. Champagny did not have a shooting night from God himself. Got that out of the way in Brooklyn the other day. Only 1 of 3 from the three-point line, 1 of 4 from the field altogether. 3 points. See, this is what happens when you don't get fake ass shooting nights from teams. This is why we as Knicks fans make such a big deal when these things happen to us, because it's like there's a huge difference. That's like 30 points wiped off the board that didn't happen. And like the Knicks end up smoking the Spurs that night if Champagny does not go off like that.
I'm sorry. It was because I was in the building. That's my fault.
Yes, it's because you were in the building.
Every
what
year
happens when Therese is not in the building? Spurs cannot have shooting nights, historic shooting nights. Historic shooting nights. This is what happens when Tyrese is in the building. They have historic shooting nights.
That's my fault.
So Tyrese was not in Madison Square Garden. The Spurs are back to regular. But yeah, no, I mean the Spurs. I was a little bit kind of wary coming into this game just because the Spurs, they were on 11-game win streak, and it's like, when teams are hot and then they come into MSG, it's like, all right, let's see who's gonna have a fake shooting performance tonight or whatever it is to keep their streak going. But I think the Knicks really and the Knicks could have they could have wavered after the first wave from the Spurs, and the Knicks weren't really getting their offense going. But opposite to what we've heard, the Knicks handled the adversity, and they are able to win this game in dominating fashion.
I can't believe the Knicks handled adversity again.
Yeah, I can't believe the team that had 23 20-point comebacks in the playoffs last year just can't handle adversity at all.
I don't know how they keep doing it. I don't know how this team that's been largely resilient for the better part of 4 years with Jalen Brunson cannot find a way to handle adversity. Jesus Christ.
Lost on me. All right, let's get to some comments. We do got a super chat here, and then we'll get into some other games that happened since the last time we were on stream, including the Bucks game that was on Friday, which the Knicks also had another blowout win, and the game on Tuesday where they lost to the Cavs. We'll get into those. Shout out to the D1995B with the $25 super chat. Shout out to you. Thank you for this super chat. De'Aaron Fox really got put on a poster by Landry Shamet. I don't want to ever hear about that nigga again.
That's real.
Hey, man.
That's real shit, bro. Like Landry Shamet has somehow caught like 2 bodies this season.
One on
Landry,
Khalil Ware, and then one
Khalil Ware
De'Aaron
and De'Aaron
Fox.
Fox. Like, do you understand how sad you're gonna be posted up by a nigga with a photography account? Come on, man. And I love Landry. That's my boy. But like, you can't let Landry. Like, you can't let Landry poster you, dog. Like, if Landry like swap a 3 in your face, I get it. You know, like that's what he do. You can't let him get up. Come on.
Shout out to Landry, man. Landry, he was on a vet minimum last year. Didn't play. When he did play, he played in the preseason. He got hurt. Came back, grinded to the G League, got called up to the big team and signed. Vet min.
Hoped.
Didn't play until the playoffs, basically. Yep. Basically. Got thrown in there because Tom Thibodeau was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. I need to throw somebody at the wall against this Pacers team that is running like 10 to 11 men deep. And he was like, you know what, Landry, just please try to save my job really quickly.
And he almost did.
Landry almost did, man. He almost did. He came in, especially that game 5. He had some key moments, had some shots, got a turnover on TJ McConnell, got the crowd amped up. Really, he tried to do his thing. Came back this year, was fighting for his spot against Garrison Matthews
and Malcolm Brogdon.
Who just decided to call it quits. And then he grinds, he plays, he grinds, hurts his shoulder again. Comes back and is a mainstay of the rotation. And still like goes through every screen like he didn't just pop his shoulders the last like year or so.
Like my man has popped his shoulder twice in the span of a year. I'm pretty sure it's the same shoulder too. And it's somehow still shooting the ball at over 40%.
Average a career high off the bench.
Not to mention, like, he probably will get a decent back from us this offseason. Like, he was in a non-guaranteed deal until the new year, and the deal finally got guaranteed. Like, son, I don't know how the hell you don't love Landry Shamet as a player, bro.
Yeah, no, he's
like if you want to talk about how this team fights through adversity, look at Landry Shamet, dog. Like, look at Landry Shamet. Look at like the entire team that's been composed of like low first round picks and then like a couple guys who are like lottery picks that they got in trade. This entire team is just full of like second round picks and undrafted dudes. And like late picks in like the late 20s.
Yeah, no.
Like this idea, like this team grinds, bro. This team grinds and they're frustrating and sometimes they make you want to bash your head into a wall. But like you can't say that this team is not grinding. We have the 51st pick is in our rotation. The 51st pick is in our rotation.
A 20-year-old 51st pick.
And he literally took that shit from Gershon Yabusele. He took it from Tyler Kolek. He took it from Jordan Clarkson. He took it from
Jeremy Sohan again.
Yeah, like, come on, dog. Like, this team has just been a bunch of dudes who are just grinding. Like, man, that's why they get postered. Because just like, dog, like this entire team just finds a way to get the job done. I just whatever, man. Let's talk ball in April. Let's talk ball in April. That's it.
Yeah, just get us to the playoffs. Chris Bernard here. He says consistency, a foreign concept to the Knicks. One day you look like the Alexei Shved Knicks against the Cavs. Today you look like the 04 Pistons against the Spurs. Yeah. No. That is the state of the Knicks, and I think the sooner that fans, and there's a reason why we're called fans, because we're fanatics about this team. So there is no logical, reasonable way to handle any types of these performances, and the Knicks' inconsistency will continue to be an annoyance for this team for the rest of the year and into the playoffs. You're just hoping that once they get to the playoffs, they are able to play like today more often than they did against the Cavs on Tuesday. So, it's just the nature of the beast with this team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really it. Like, you just want them to play their best basketball when it matters, and I think they did that last season, even though it was, again, still frustrating when they played their best basketball. They managed to play their best basketball, and they managed to get to where they needed to get to, almost. So the goal is now to just be able to sustain that and take it into June.
Yep.
And, I mean, I think they have a good chance.
They definitely do. I mean, I feel like the only team that really stands in their way is Detroit, and
I don't think Detroit's going to stand in their way. Nah, I'm just saying that out now.
And we'll see what happens with Detroit in the playoffs. I mean, you know, there's only so far that you can go with the way their offensive, at least, structure is set up on that team. I know they have the 40-20 thing, but there's a thing about experience too. I know last year they got some experience, but was that really all that much experience for them? But we'll see how that goes for them.
Somebody else going to need to score for that team other than Cade. That's all I got to say.
And I mean, if you're relying on Jalen Duren post touches in the playoffs, because that's what their second option really looks like on a lot of nights.
And Tobias Harris from the perimeter. Good luck. Good luck.
Highstyle 6099 says this was a prove it win. I was skeptical after the Bucks win game. Now the next test is the Thunder. Yeah, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder coming in. They are starting to look a little bit healthy. They got Shea back. They got Caruso back.
Is Jada playing or is he still out?
He is still out, I believe.
Okay, so they got a chance then. Damn.
Yeah, no, if J-Dub was playing, I'd feel a little bit more confident because he is not been good for them this year.
My man got that ring in the bag, and he is coasting. My man chilling.
Yeah, but no J-Dub, no AJ Mitchell, but everyone else seems to be healthy for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Still going to be a tough game to play against this team. This Oklahoma City Thunder team without Shea, without J-Dub, without AJ Mitchell, you know, they gave the Pistons a run for their money the other day. And they were playing really good without their top guys anyway. So this is going to be as tough as a test for the Knicks as there's been all year. And we'll see how they handle it. It will be at home in MSG on ESPN on national TV. And, you know, we'll see. I mean, if the Knicks get embarrassed, like if it's like one of those Pistons performances, we'll hear all about it. If it's a close game, you know, everyone will be like, all right, we're right there with them. If we beat them,
well, J-Dub wasn't playing.
Knicks fans will be buying champagne bottles to store in the fridge for the next couple of months.
Stephen A. Smith's going to say, well, I don't know if this counts as a real win because J-Dub wasn't playing. And then
I'll be like, actually, you know what? It counts as more as a win. It counts as 2 wins because J-Dub wasn't playing.
Like, you'll understand. Like, J-Dub's a terrorist. They had Jared McCain. Like, I'd rather have Jared McCain than J-Dub, but whatever.
But yeah, that is the next test for this Knicks team. I mean, they play the Raptors on Tuesday. We've been able to handle the Raptors no matter what.
We don't care.
But the real and I think they will rest. That is a back-to-back situation. They will definitely rest Mitch against the Raptors, so that way Cat can get his, you know, nice little 30 ball or whatever, or like 20 and 15 rebound game against the Raptors as he's been doing most of this year. But yeah, that game is in Toronto on Tuesday. Which is I hate these back-to-back situations. They make us go to Toronto and then they come back to New York to play OKC. Stupid, but whatever. I don't make the NBA schedule, unfortunately. But yeah, that is going to be very key, interesting matchup there for the Knicks. I'm really hoping that they we got a little no tussle. Oh, I thought we had a little tussle on this Minnesota Nuggets game.
I said, damn, like already.
This last couple of weeks in the NBA has been kind of hostile.
I like it. Let's get negative. Let's go.
The playoffs coming up. That competitive energy is bubbling.
That USA versus the world got everybody moving different. I like it.
But yeah, no, I mean, this will be like one of the true tests for the Knicks, and I'm hoping that they are able to, you know, wake up for this game like they did against the Spurs today, because I really feel like the Knicks like really woke up for this game. Like they were like, all right, like we are here because like this is one of the best teams in the league, and we want to show that we can hang with them. Not only hang with them, we can dominate them. So if the Knicks can wake up for that OKC game on Tuesday, on Wednesday, the same way, I feel very good about our chances there.
And if we beat him, timeline for the beat. Like you don't want to see him in the timeline if we beat him. I'm looking at OKC Mars like in the face.
I'm just interested to see how this team, how Mike Brown decides to open up. I mean, we know he's going to start with the same starting lineup, but it's just going to be interesting to see because we know OKC is going to play a certain way against this Knicks team. We know they're going to do the probably ghost Josh Hart coverage once again, put a wing on Cat. That was the starting of the Knicks starting lineup unraveling last season against OKC in OKC. And then after that, a lot of teams just started replicating what OKC did against us. So I'll be interested to see how Oklahoma City opens up that game against the Knicks defensively and how the Knicks respond to that. Will there be a short leash for Josh Hart? Will Josh Hart be more aggressive offensively? Will he take the open threes that Oklahoma City will give him? These are the questions that I have heading into that game.
Well, how much minutes Josh Hart is going to play is probably like the biggest question of that game. And if he's bad, how many minutes is he going to play? If he's good, how many minutes is he going to play? Like, there's just a matter of like how many minutes is he going to play?
Yeah, no, for sure. That Cowboy says, keep Sohan out of my glorious rotation. Modi is the real French prince. Mo Diawara are breaking the Knicks French player curse. How about that?
And my heart, Dottie should have been it. But that nigga decided to change his accessories on the court more than his game. And it broke my heart. Don't worry, next year we got him. Next year. Year 3, year 2 Diawara, I'm telling you, man, demons on the wings. It's gonna happen. I'm irrational. It's gonna happen. But yeah, like don't play Jeremy Sohan anymore. Like, please, I'm begging you.
Yeah, there's no need.
It's refs.
That Kev Boyle says Keldon needs Beijing for his yee ass haircut. On God, he looked like Krillin.
Yeah, I don't know what they was on, but they like said to save their heads like there's some kind of Shaolin monks or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like 4 guys on that team that have like bald heads. It's like, what the hell's going on over there? It's giving cult vibes.
I'm tired of Wemby trying to act like he's all sophisticated, bringing that fucking Euro club shit to my glorious NBA. Like, no, we don't need that, bro.
Yeah. Let's see. What else you have here? High Style Yield says Cat had an all-around good game, rebounds and hustling like crazy. I strongly think starting Jose over Hart would do wonders for this team with Brunson off ball and Alvarado being the distributor. I mean,
they're not gonna start Alvarado.
They're not gonna start him, but I think they do. I mean, you do get to see that look throughout the game. Like there are moments where Alvarado is playing with Brunson and Cat, and we've seen that that his opponent lineup. Like I think I forgot someone had mentioned that 3-man group had like a plus, like I don't know, like plus like it had a really big plus on off. So that grouping does makes a lot of sense. Alvarado just does a really good job of finding guys. And I feel like when Alvarado plays, especially with like Cat and McCall in the second unit, it really gets either one of those 2 guys going. And that's really key because I think in that initial starting lineup, a lot of it is like Brunson and like Brunson trying to score. And like sometimes Brunson does look to get the other guys involved, but it just doesn't work out too much. I feel like Jose really gets some of those guys really going and it gets them in better rhythm. So, I like when Alvarado is able to play with a lot of these bench lineups and get Cat and McCall going.
Yeah, I think like part of the reason why Cat has looked a lot better offensively is just due to the fact he's been playing Alvarado. I'm sorry, but like I just saw this like glazy ass tweet from Sam Quinn, and I'm sorry, Sam Quinn's been on a generational stinker right now, but this man really said Victor is obviously the most game-breaking defensive Spur and player in the whole NBA. But man, whenever Castle steps off the floor, you feel the other team collectively exhale like, fuck, we can breathe again. Who do people think Stephon Castle is?
I'm telling you, that game against Cade really did numbers for his PR.
Like, Stephon Castle can't shoot is mediocre defensively. Like, okay, he had a good defensive game against Kane.
He's able to. They allow him to be physical. That's just about it.
But like this idea that like Stephon Castle is somehow this clamper is so nasty. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, Stephon Castle had nothing to do with Mikal Bridges, but somehow, some way, because Jalen Brunson only went 7 of 16, but he still hit 4 threes and had 24 points and 16 shots. Like, nothing. He did nothing. He did nothing this game, and then they let him shoot, and he missed most of his shots. I really need people to understand the difference between very good regular season hoops and playoff caliber hoops. You could be a team in the regular season that grifts their way to like 50 plus wins just off of really good offensive rebounding and like star level play. When it gets to playoffs,
and good defense.
Yes, like that was the Rockets last year.
We saw the Knicks do this in their first year back to relevancy.
Yes, like the Knicks
like,
legitimately.
It's just a cheat code.
The Knicks literally were like, okay, we're
one star with really good defense and like okay 3-point shooting, and it's like, okay, like you can get like 40 plus wins or whatever.
And somehow, some way, every year people fall for this shit. I don't get it. How are we like? This is why I know propaganda works in the United States, because.
Well, I mean, there are many reasons why.
Okay, but like we need to open up the schools, because somehow, some way, it's like a dog chasing their tail. You just see like, oh my god, 50 win team with like a very good net rating who has like very questionable offensive prowess, but somehow they have like a top 8 offensive rating, and people fool themselves and they go, oh, this team could go all the way. This team's a dark horse, and it's like they get to the playoffs and then like half court
they can't score. Like you were about to say, I think you were about to mention Houston from last year.
Yes, like Houston from last year, the Knicks from a couple years ago, Toronto when they got to the playoffs in 23. Like, this happens every year, and people get fooled, and it's like, yes, a very young team will win 50 games because they have a bunch of youth and defense and athleticism, and somehow, some way, it tricks the league, and it keeps tricking the league, and these teams never win, and somehow, some way, people will convince themselves that, oh no, this is the year they're going to break it. No, Stephon Castle is not the reason why the teams are looking at the Spurs and going, oh, we can breathe now. It's the fact that Victor Wembanyama is a top 5 player in the sport. Like, can we stop trying to be hipsters when it comes to basketball analysis and just, like, take the data for what it is at face value instead of trying to go, like, you know what? I can give these numbers context in a better way because I'm white and I'm bald and I believe Israel has the right to exist. Like, topical humor. But, like, come on, dog. What are we doing?
Yeah, no, I think fans just have to learn. I think Houston's offense in the half court, like, I didn't watch a lot of Houston last year, but like I had known just from like the personnel that I seen on their roster, like, yeah, this is a 2 seed, but like they're not a 2 seed. Like, this is a fake 2 seed. Again, this whole thing about the Western Conference being better than the East, like, Houston was a 2 seed last year with that dog shit half court offense. Like, I don't get it, man. But yeah, I think fans just have to see with these teams like a Spurs, like a Detroit, teams that are like really good defensively, have a star that is like playing like top 10 NBA basketball for the year. You know, we'll see how much that can really matter in a playoff series when, you know, shit really gets difficult in the half court. Like, shit gets really hard in the half court and defense in the playoffs. I don't think like fans, especially of these teams, because these teams haven't been in the playoffs recently, or at least they haven't gone as far in the playoffs recently. Shit gets hard, man.
Like, I literally saw Jalen Brunson for half a season just grift with offensive rebounding and good role players, and they won 50 games. Like, this happens every year. Why do we keep falling for it every year? The Hornets are doing this right now because Concanepo with LaMelo Ball giving him the rock is turned into like a fringe all-star guy, and they just have a bunch of really good role players, and they're making it work. Stop falling for the propaganda. Open this textbook.
Yeah, no, I mean it's gonna be interesting to see what the Hornets do in the playoffs. Actually, speaking of them,
So they're gonna beat. They're gonna push the Rock. The Pistons to like 6, and it's gonna blow people's minds. They're gonna be like, how the Hornets doing this? It's like, well, because Cade Cunningham can't shoot.
It's by himself, basically,
like,
out there.
I'm telling you, if the Hornets get into the playoffs and they get the 8th seed, that series is gonna be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that last matchup against them, even though like the scuffle happened and like guys got ejected or whatever, and it was still a close game regardless. But yeah, I think just folks are just like, I mean, I saw a tweet the other day about like the Hornets since they've gotten healthy and they're starting lineups played together. They're like they're 18-2, and their net rating is like plus 11.1 or something like that. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, no, I think the Hornets still be able to push a team like the Pistons in the playoffs for sure. And I think that series will be very entertaining for not just basketball reasons, but for the extracurricular reasons as well. Jared R1652 says the Knicks we're one magnet ball stretch away from Champagne. We're one magnet ball stretch from Champagne away from being 3-0 versus the Spurs this season.
My fault.
Yeah, no, I mean, if the Knicks, like, if Champagne does not go on a heater from the Lord himself, the Knicks, like, they were dominating that game against the Spurs. Like, they were dominating, and then Champagne just got the gift of God, and Tyrese was in the building, so that's just what happens, unfortunately.
My fault, bro. I mean it. I promise I was there with good intentions. I just don't think I could do. Sometimes you just have more stink on you than you realize, and some shit just happens, bro. I guess I'm cursed. I don't know.
D1995B says Walt Perrin deserves more credit and recognition. Underrated front office tradition. His scouting and ability to find talent late in the draft during Leon Rose era has been pretty solid. I mean, yeah. I mean, the only like player that really stunk, like that is not really an NBA level rotation player that they've picked is probably like what, Trevor Keels or something.
Yeah, but like that was just like a payola pick, so I'm not even gonna be like, oh, Trevor Keels. Oh my.
But like other than that, they've been able to find real NBA rotational value out of almost every pick that they've gotten.
Yep, Deuce, Grimes, quickly, like especially with the late picks too. I mean, you could quibble about Kolek, but like he's given the team rotation minutes. Huck 40 is an NBA caliber player.
Yeah,
he could be on a roster. Yeah, but like again, obviously with DOR, I think that's a rousing success. They've just managed to develop guys. They managed to turn guys into proficient players, and then like their pro scouting has been very good too. Like Josh Hart trade, Landry Shamet acquisition, Jose Alvarado impact. Like they've just managed to get guys into the building, and they get more benefit out of them than they did from previous teams. So, shout out to the Knicks front office for just being as advanced as they are, despite the fact they never get the credit. And somehow, some way, people think that San Antonio or Houston's front office is better. I don't get it, but whatever. It's fine.
Those teams have the luster of their past being, counted towards their present,
which is nasty. Like just think about you can't make lotto luck into a good front office. Like I'm sorry, man. Sometimes a lot of this shit is lotto luck, and the Knicks haven't had it.
It really is.
Like the Knicks have had to get it out the mud with all of their talent, and somehow, some way, they don't get the credit that other front offices get, despite having significantly less to work with. But whatever.
The D1995B also says, anybody still crying for and about Tibbs just hates black coaches? I'm just tired. I'm tired of staying quiet about it.
Especially during Melanin March as well. Like, nah.
Yeah. Black History Month and Melanin March. How dare you people? How dare you?
Black History Year. Forget this, man. Like we celebrate it all year. After that whole Tourette's shit, after that whole Tourette's shit, we want like this is gonna be our fucking this could be our reparations. We get the whole year this year.
Yep.
Like,
Chris Bernard says that Cam Johnson for Michael Porter Jr. deal. Woof. How do you make Sean Marks look like a bandit?
that deal when it happened got way too much gas. Because people thought that Cam Johnson, the 20-point per game scorer, was coming, and it's like, no, he's spot up in the corner, man. Like I think like the fact that Tim Hardaway Jr. has been better than Cam Johnson, and that's like a legitimate that's a legitimate thing. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. should not be better than Cam Johnson, but he has been. Yeah, man, I don't get that. I didn't think at the time that deal happened, I was skeptical that it was going to be as impactful as they were saying it was, and it really has not been. So, I mean, like Cam Johnson's still good. It's just, he's mediocre. Like I feel think that's a trade that you make.
I liked the deal at the time, just because I thought, Michael Porter Jr. just felt like one of those players that he needed to go to a bad team to like really just like, because like I just didn't see it with him on Denver like that last year, and maybe it was because he was hurt or whatever in the playoffs. And like he still at least tried to play with one shoulder, so I'll give him credit for that. But he was really like basically a non-factor in that OKC series, and I feel like maybe this trade was probably an overreaction to that. And they probably thought that Cam Johnson was probably going to just give them a little bit more juice defensively. Cam Johnson's been hurt, and then when he has been healthy, he hasn't really shot the ball particularly well. So, yeah.
I mean, he shot it well, but I mean, like they saved a little bit of money with the luxury tax. So essentially, it's like you traded Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson and the ability to sign like Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown, which is fine, I guess, but also
it gives them more depth.
And they needed depth. Like they needed the ability to just like break up Michael Porter Jr. into like 3 serviceable players. So I think ultimately it worked out for the Nuggets, but the idea that like they got the better player, like I didn't really think that was going to be a meaningful difference. And Michael Porter Jr. was a fringe all-star this year.
Yeah. So. Which shows like, a lot of these guys, like they're probably like boxing themselves in a lot more offensively into roles. Because like Michael Porter Jr., I mean, like he was like a spot up guy last year. I mean, for the last couple of years for the Nuggets, like he was just basically a spot up guy, a movement shooter. He wasn't really able to do what he's been doing on Brooklyn. So it just shows a lot of these guys are probably taking a further backseat than you think.
Yep.
The D1995B says we got an interesting next 5: Raptors, Thunder, Nuggets, Lakers, Clippers. Yeah, that West Coast road trip starts the Nuggets game. I'm hoping for 4-1, but I think they'll likely be 3-2. Thunder on night 2 of a back-to-back. After traveling sucks ass. Yeah, definitely.
I think we get 4-1. Like the thing is, I can see them like beating the Thunder and then like losing to like the Lakers and some bullshit.
I was gonna say Nuggets, but I feel like we have the Nuggets number.
Like we usually
even with the altitude, I'm not really too worried about it.
We just beat them.
Yeah. But one of the Nuggets or Clippers games might be.
Like I think they'll like lose to the Lakers, and that'd be stupid. But they would like end up beating like everybody else. I mean, the Clippers are probably like the easiest game here, just because the Clippers are tanking, for whatever reason, even without a pick. But
Zachary Coleman says, if you saw the Detroit-Cleveland overtime, you saw the Pistons offense stall without Cade. Yeah, I heard that he had like fouled out. They still somehow won that game.
Yeah. Like
the fact that they even went to overtime with a Cleveland team that did not have like 4 rotation players basically on the court in that game, very interesting to me. Again, that just goes back to a lot of what we were saying about these teams that are able to farm these wins playing a certain style in the regular season and how that works compared to the playoffs. But yeah, no, their offense probably did look bad. Like I saw some Pistons some Pistons people on Twitter were talking about, how rough Danish Jenkins was looking and how rough Karis LeVert was looking on the court.
Like our magnet ball, don't let our magnet ball games.
Bro, whenever we play Detroit, they automatically become 40% 3-point shooters. Like Javonte Green is like hitting fadeaway threes in the corner. Karis LeVert is hitting threes. Like it's just ridiculous every time we play them that this shit happens. But whatever.
Exactly. Like don't let them fool you, man.
But yeah, no, their offense without Cade, I can imagine, is bad. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people are kind of at least making a big deal of them losing Dennis Schroeder in the offseason. because he was able to be like that other guy that could dribble the ball and just do something offensively. Whether find Malik Beasley or Tim Hardaway Jr. for threes. They actually lost a lot more 3-point shooting than I realized in the offseason too. Like their only real legitimate 3-point threat this year is like what, Duncan Robinson,
and they traded for Kevin Huerter, but like I don't even.
But he doesn't even play, and he's been shooting like 24% from three, I think, this year or something like that.
Yeah, he's been ass.
He's one of those fake shooters.
Yeah,
he's been like struggling since those Kings years,
which is like again wild to me. Like I don't know how.
And who was his coach during those years?
Mike Beasley,
Mike Brown. All right, let's see. We got to worry about Lou Dort next game too. I mean, not next game, but on Wednesday. Somebody trying to hurt somebody.
This news so nasty, bro. I can't believe that Lou Dort.
Yeah, just throw Sohan on the court to just like forearm shiver. That's it.
Just hit him. Just hit him and dip. That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah, another super chat from Ariel Suarez, 199. Love that we keep denying Victor's MSG moment. Yeah, he's 0-3 at MSG. And they keep hyping him up every single game before he plays the Knicks. They're like, he was one of the youngest players to score 40 in MSG. All that. But you keep getting his stats here. That's all cool. As long as he keeps accepting these L's too, I'm all good with it.
Look, man. Every time Victor Wembanyama sees Mitchell Robinson, he gets clamped. It's like every time he sees Mitchell Robinson in the Garden, he's getting clamped. We don't play that. We don't play that French stuff over here, boy. All right, come get this country strength.
Oh wow, Knicks were at their best defensively with Karl Anthony Towns guarding Victor Wembanyama today. This is from ESPN Insights. The Spurs shot 26% from three on Sunday, including 2 for 14 on plays where Cat guarded Wemby. Wemby's minus 15 was his second worst this season.
Yeah.
And then Schwinn quoted that. He said, Cat's had a wildly underappreciated season, and that includes from a lot of Knicks fans, too.
You mean certain Knicks fans who wanted to have the team blown up? Certain Knicks fans who overreacted to a one-game sample size and who continued to deny the data regarding Karl Anthony Towns and his prowess as a basketball player, especially his prowess and shooting, allowing the other Knicks on the court to flourish. But who knows? Who knows? Hey, what can I say? I just just because he's not putting up 24 points a game does not mean that he's not a good player. The impact is clearly felt.
Yeah, no, I think I saw a comment in here from that boy Kev earlier in the chat. He says Cat's process is up for scoring down is a worthy sacrifice.
Correct.
And it'll pay off in the postseason as well. Because, I mean, you would like for Cat to be scoring like 25, 26, 27 points. But if you're still able to get the points from other guys on the offense, and, like today where the Knicks are able to get a socialist effort basketball-wise in the box score, where, lots of guys are scoring in double figures. Knicks had 6 guys in double figures today. That is your ideal version of this team where they are also really good defensively. So, yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, like Cat himself said it, he's like, I don't care. But somehow, some way, people just want Cat to be like this 25-12 guy, and it's like he could be that. But if you could be,
and we saw that last year too.
Yeah, like if he could be a 2011 guy, but Landry Shamet's putting up 13 instead of 9, and like Deuce is putting up 12 instead of 8, and you got guys like Diawara getting opportunities and all that stuff. Like again, what's the downfall? Individual statistics. He's still an all-star and he got paid. Like who cares?
Yeah, like if he doesn't care, why should you?
Exactly.
If the Knicks are winning, like that's what matters.
Like if the people who are mad at you are Shaquille O'Neal and Craig Carton, I think you're doing something right. Like I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, no. Let's see here. Tay2126 says, That Cam Johnson trade is what's wrong with the NBA salary cap. It was just a glorified salary dump.
Yeah, that's what it was.
In a way, yeah.
But I mean, it worked out for both teams, so I don't think anybody.
Yeah, no, the Nets got someone to put butts in seats, I guess, for a little bit and get some numbers for their team, and the Nuggets are able to get some more depth.
And again, like that's what the league has come to, where you're just like you got to balance out your roster and you balance out the money, and if you can do that, you're fine.
Yep. Jordan Bub says, how many wins do you think they'll get next week or this week in terms? And reaction of the fan base after this week, I'm pretty sure no one will overreact and crash out over a loss like that. Yeah, no, everyone will definitely overreact and crash out. Especially if the Knicks get blown out. If the Knicks just come out and are competitive and I think the game is close or whatever, I think most fans should be fine for the most part. There are those fans that are going to
crash out,
do things for the sake of engagement. But I think just everyone just keeps a level head, and if the game is reasonably close and just some things just don't go the Knicks' way in the end, I think most people shouldn't be okay with the loss, but they shouldn't fucking lose their minds. It's not June, guys, okay?
I don't remember the last time the Knicks lost and nobody lost their mind. Like, the Knicks benched 5 dudes against the Pistons for the second loss against the Pistons. And
no, I didn't even care about that game that much. I literally turned off the game after the third, after the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. I was like, okay, yeah, this is just not my time to watch this team right now. I'm good. And I just left the team alone. I did homework and I went on with the rest of my night, and I was fine. I think most people need to approach that way, especially in certain situations. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yep. So just look. They go crash out. Who cares? We wait for June.
Slow Runner 14 says, I suspect Cat will score more during the playoffs. His 3-point shooting percentage has been going up. Yeah, that's been the one encouraging sign, I will say. Despite his numbers not being all the way back up, I think he's starting to look like himself a little bit more offensively. And he had that stretch where he had 5 or 6 straight 20-point games, whatever it was. And during that stretch, he was averaging close to 50, 39, and I want to say 90% of the free throw line, something like that. It was close to 50, 40, 90 during that stretch where he was averaging 20 plus points and whatever it was. But yeah, no, he's definitely looked better offensively. I think, he'll be fine in the playoffs. I think this approach that they had, while it's probably been an annoying adjustment for him, and you can see the frustration on his face sometimes, especially during post games when they ask him certain questions and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, it will pay off in the long run, and we'll see that in the playoffs.
Yep.
Mo Diawara averages in his last 3 games playing 12 plus minutes. It's from Jordan Bub. 19.3 minutes per game, 12.7 points per game, so about 13 points per game. 4 rebounds, an assist a game, shooting 41% from the field, 42% from 3. Per 36, those numbers come out to about 24 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and about a steal a game.
We got Siakam at home.
Yeah, we got Siakam at home. Just give us a couple more. Just give us a year. I'm actually very interested to see how he comes out in summer league, because he'll play summer league, and how he looks next season.
Next season.
Just from this season alone, what we've seen from him, I am super encouraged by the potential there, and we've seen what this Knicks team has been able to do with better talent that was picked at higher spots. So I really am encouraged to see what this team does with him.
Yep, I just it's gonna be year 2, year 3 gonna be special. That's when at the year 4 he might just explode, man. I'm irrationally high on this guy. Even if he's just a really good role player, that's still a very good outcome again for the 51st pick. And I think it's perfectly possible that he does so. He's already a really good role player now, and a low minute role. but he's been impactful, and that's all you kind of want for him. Plus, he can shoot threes, and he shoots them with confidence. If you're 6'9" and can shoot threes and play a little bit of defense, you go get a 10-year career. You go eat. Like Kevin Knox got 8 and he was ass. You go eat.
Oh man, Kevin Knox. What's Kevin Knox up to these days?
G League.
Still?
Yeah. Good. Lock that nigga up.
Oh man. Man. I can't believe the Knicks survived all those failed draft picks, man.
I have no idea how we did it, but we did. We got the trenches. Like we just decided
anything is
like,
possible, folks.
Yeah, like anything is possible, man. Like if the Knicks can come out of like Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina and RJ Barrett purgatory with the draft picks, like anything's possible. Go text that shorty. Some good weather outside, I think. I don't know. Is it decent weather outside?
In New York?
Yeah.
It's like close to it's like hovering around 43, 42 degrees right now.
Boy, you better whoever listening, go text her.
It was like 53 yesterday. Like it was like summer weather.
It's basically summer, bro. Like, yeah, go text her, go text him, go text them. We don't discriminate. Get it cracking. Come on now. If Kevin Knox is no longer on this team and we up, like anything's possible.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. Let's see. The Knicks play the Raptors Tuesday, Thunder Wednesday, Nuggets Friday, Lakers Sunday. We'll probably be live after the Lakers game to discuss that game and the week that the Knicks had. Yeah, I think the Knicks should have a pretty solid week. Definitely some entertaining games. But yeah, thank you to everyone who joined in. Thank you to everyone that left a comment and gave a super chat. It is definitely appreciated. Terry, anything to plug before we get out of here?
No, just hopefully the Knicks are able to give us a couple more wins, so we got some good stuff to talk about next week.
Yep. I will plug my Twitch channel that I just started.
Shout out to Sam on Twitch.
On there. I've been playing Marvel Rivals. I finished the Walking Dead Telltale game the other day. So if anyone wants to leave me some game suggestions, you want to see me play, I'll be over there talking basketball and playing games. So yeah.
Support the homie.
Yep. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. We will catch you next weekend. Peace.